We're talking what?
Creating an environment. And it starts in like 2:20. All right, those who are joining us, we're on Newbies. We're also on our page. Are you watching us here?
No. Do I have to?
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're good there. KO.
Robert's here.
KO's in. We have 2:14 left.
Guess who's here?
We're gonna go ahead from Missouri.
We're gonna go ahead and call him Big Lair.
Big Lair is always the first one on. Has he ever not been the first one on?
He is always the first one on.
All right. This is gonna be a good one.
I
hope everyone is just getting settled in and creating your own atmosphere, because I'm really curious what the perfect atmosphere is for everyone to enjoy a cigar.
I can tell it's your Facebook page because all it is mountain bikes.
Yeah, it's mountain bikes and SSW. That is the only thing that is on my feeds ever.
That's all I would do. I don't need to. You're on Newbies?
I'm on Newbies. We're good here.
Okay, so I don't need
KO's
to
on. If you're in, give us a sign off. Where you at? Where you
Jerry
coming in from?
Vaughn. Howdy, howdy. His keyboard is stuck. He just keeps typing howdy. Robert's in. Cigar 101. Creating an atmosphere. I like that. Today's good day to create an atmosphere.
We've got blue lights
We
in
got
the
any
back.
SSW guys in the house. We need someone say whiskey guys in the house.
Start
Ivana's
sharing
in.
this.
A little early. Not done with work. Well, so what? Have them pay you to watch the show.
That's creating a good atmosphere.
It is. I got cigars here.
Patrick.
Patrick had the...
Oh, Kevin Owens is in. What's
you.
up, DGs? What's up, DG?
Thank you for the great hospitality. Best birthday ever.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Patrick.
So he's
That's
Gold Leaf
Gold
Cigar
Leaf.
Club. And I gave him one of the fancy, super fancy principles.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, from the
Angel
barrel?
of Mercy. No,
Oh, Angel of Mercy. Is that volume going to be on the whole time?
I don't know. Do you want it to be on the whole
I
time?
don't want it to be on
We could
at
listen to
all.
ourselves. How stupid is that?
15 second.
All right. Rob's in. Tim's in. Patrick, let everybody know on
5
Gold
seconds.
Leaf Cigar Club.
3,
Jump in.
2, 1.
That's it. Just got done with the roller coaster ride from hell.
From hell.
But now we're going to just set the environment.
All right, let's just take a second here.
Just chill.
Let's let you guys settle in.
Just, yeah.
Because
Share it with some friends.
share it with some. It did look like we hopped in there pretty good. What's up, everybody? Those of you who are joining us, this is Tuesday,
We are at Cigar 101.
and it is a Cigar Newbies evening. And if you're still not joined on Cigar Newbies,
Do it.
now's the time. And invite your friends.
Invite your friends and tell your friends to say that you invited them.
Yes,
That will
actually help.
improve your chances of getting in.
You will get in. Okay.
Big Lair
tonight-
wants to know if he should take the plastic wrap off a box. I'm assuming if he wants to age the box full in his humidor.
What do you do? This is actually really good. If you have questions, fire them through.
The cellophane that cigar manufacturers use is very porous.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really neither here nor there if you leave the cellophane on the box. It's not a problem. If it's something that I had this conversation yesterday with somebody that was talking about how should I age my cigars, and the question was, how should I age these rare cigars that I'm getting? So the question is, are you going to age them to flip them, or are you going to age them to smoke them? If you're going to age them to smoke them, don't worry about it. If you're going to age them to flip them, then definitely leave the plastic on it because that's going to maintain all the package integrity, everything else.
Yep.
But we had a vault full of vintage cigars that were 10 to 20 years old, still in the cellophane. The cellophane gets yellow, it gets brittle, but the cigars smoke perfectly after 20 years.
Yep.
So I wouldn't worry about it. it is very porous, so it's going to let things go through. Same question gets asked of us a lot about cello on the cigars or cello off the cigars.
Right. What do you?
Asked you. Let me ask you a question.
Okay, go ahead.
I just asked it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the answer to that is because I just have one humidor at the house, and because most of the time I'm smoking cigars, it's with friends, so I'm kind of moving them around and seeing what we're going to smoke. I keep the cellophane on because it gives the flexibility for me to keep them in there because there's no issue. But I fumble around with them, I move them around, and then if I want to grab them and take a handful and go with me somewhere, I know I've got an extra line of defense. Yep. I keep the cellophane on.
Yep, I do too. Because you can bang a cigar around, get a little nick in it, get a little dent in it, and once that cigar heats up, then you'll experience the wrapper popping on you or unraveling. But
a very good question, and thank you. For those who are watching, please feel free to join in with some questions. Tonight we're talking about creating an atmosphere to better enjoy your cigar experience. Very much like I was saying before, it's like any golfer has their pre-shot routine. I'm curious, what percentage of you just go smoke a cigar? You just grab a cigar, you fire it up, you go outside, come into the lounge, and you just sit in, and what will be will be. Or how many people make it a full routine where they set something up, they kind of get it together? Yeah. What do you, when you're not here, or when you're not here with a red on and working, what is your pre-shot, your pre-smoke routine?
Pre-smoke routine.
What's up, Fish?
Ideally, and I say ideally because sometimes my intention is to just get and go. So, same analogy as rolling through a drive-through. Do you eat it on the way home, or do you get home and then set it all out and enjoy it?
And
sometimes it doesn't quite make it home because I'm ready to get going.
Yep.
So, same thing with this. But really, for me, it's picking the right cigar, thinking about how much time I'm going to invest. If I'm going to go binge watch something, I'm going to grab a couple of cigars just in case things get good, and I don't want to have to get up and go get another cigar. But now with the weather nice, I'm grabbing a couple of sticks, and I'm making sure that I've got something that's kind of estimate what the duration of the cigar is going to last based on experience with those particular cigars, and just kind of get everything set. I want to make sure before I go outside or before I come into the lounge, is this thing firing up? I have a cutter. Do I have my drink? Do I have a clean palate?
Yep.
Did I just eat dinner? Things like that you want to think about as you're going to go out and enjoy your cigar.
You're exactly right. I know Fish Fisher's hopping in, Adrian Barunda. I know these guys aren't just by accident. Preparation for a cigar experience. Now, when you're in the lounge, there's a level of preparation that you don't need to take care of. But preparation and setting up, because when do you find out your lighter does not have fuel? When you sat down and you're
comfy, click, 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 click.
Son of a bitch.
Yep.
Now you gotta go get that together. I like the whole ritual of having the cigar. I'll bring my humidor out, put it on the table, find my cigar instead of just grabbing something. I'll grab a couple of cigars, make sure I've got my drink. I like this whole, feels like I'm going on a camping trip.
Yeah.
Go outside, make sure my key, I cannot go out there without my Wonder Boom speaker.
Yeah.
Have to have the speaker.
Yeah.
Unless I'm specifically don't need it. I'm curious, what are your things that if you're at home or if you're in the lounge, what are the things that you cannot go without as a part of your preparation in setting the right environment?
We got Rob is watching, Larry's watching, Nathan Lockhart is in. So let us know what is kind of your pregame prep.
KO's coming in with some hot prep right now.
I'm sure it has something to do with his hot tub.
Yep, that's the first hot tub and cigar, then golf and cigars. Mm-hmm. That's a good start to a Sunday. That's his Sunday routine.
It's perfect. I can tell you the hot tub does not help his swing. Just
doesn't make him looser.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
maybe tighten up a little bit, KO. You're just too loose. But then there is the process of, okay, I've picked out a cigar, and now what? So there's a couple of things that I like to do first. First things first is really put the cigar up to your nose and smell the foot of the cigar. See if you're picking up any ammonia. number one. If you are picking up ammonia and it burns your nostrils, put that one down. It's not done cooking yet. Let's get something that you're getting that sweetness that you want to pick up with the tobacco.
So bougie, KO.
And the other thing too, and I don't know if you guys noticed when I did this, but we do it here at ICC. But when we cut the cigar, the first thing that we do is we tap it, and you'll notice that this dust comes out. Mm-hmm. Well, if you think about it, if you don't do this, you're inhaling that pepper on your first pull. It's imagine just a handful of pepper going. That's in a sense what's happening. So we always dead flat. You don't want to hit a corner. But dead flat, just tap that cigar. It's amazing how many people that when we do that at the front counter, they're wondering what are you doing that for?
Your first bit of prep and experience is so important. That first draw, if you're spitting it out,
yep,
then it's just not going to work. And
exactly.
And actually, here's what I'm thinking. Because I've gotten out to my whole setup outside, or I've gotten somewhere I don't have an ashtray, I want to make sure no one actually goes through that. We have white industrial cigar company Atabay ashtrays. Maybe to make sure that no one else goes through that, maybe give this a share and comment done. We'll select one person and you'll
send you one of those ashtrays.
Yeah, you'll either send it or you can come pick it up. But these things they're white, 4 position. It's got the Atabay Private Lounge logo in it. It's the only ashtrays with these in them. We're not putting them in our lounge. You can't buy them.
Yep.
The only person that can have it right now is you. If you give this a share and then just type done or tell us what can you go without.
So your neighbor Frank the Tank indicates that you need a louder speaker because apparently he can't hear it with these super high phonetic super tones that he picks up in his ears. Pennington is in. My guess is he's over in Fort Worth with his girl as the world turns.
Yep.
Marty Upton is in, and of course Sean Ratz is in. So we're happy that everybody's in, and we're starting to see Pennington. We're starting to see a lot of duns here. Patrick is back in.
I'll tell you what though.
Sydney is in. How you guys doing?
Here is a great bit of information. Sydney was in, and I hope he's back in again. Glad to have him back into town. Welcome back in. Welcome everyone who's joining us. Nathan Allen coming in with his Atmosphere to Smoke with an LT at 3 a.m. when nothing's going on. I'll tell you what, when the world shuts down and you sit and smoke a cigar, that is a phenomenal time.
Watch this. This will probably throw off the Earth's cortex or something, solar cortex. But Chris is right there, so let's wave to Chris, and then Chris sees us waving. It's going to screw up something.
It's going to mess him up.
Yeah, time just stopped.
Yeah, everyone who's joining us, thank you so much for sharing this. This is our Tuesday get-together. It is Cigars 101, creating an atmosphere.
Yeah, and it's a little bit more chill.
And why is that?
I think
that's a leaded question. Because
it is. And
what's up,
but
Clancy?
I think a lot of setting the environment is how did your day go? And if you're coming in and you were unable to strangle your boss during the day,
right?
You might want to just grab a shot of Jack and a heavy dark Maduro cigar and just beat yourself up.
Couldn't agree
for
more.
Actually not strangling the guy when you had the opportunity. But when you have this opportunity to, like we've recently had, to knock a couple tons of bricks off our shoulders and just really kind of drop the pressure, my mindset, I went straight to a really rich, creamy, smooth. This is just the icing on cake.
It really is. What are you smoking?
This is the Illusione Epernay Le Monde, and it is a beautiful cigar. The Epernay series is something that you're very familiar with. Why don't you tell them a story about that?
So the Epernay series, for those of you who like a little bit lighter cigars, Epernay is actually a region in France where they have a lot of champagne in and of itself. So this cigar is actually created to pair with champagne. The only one that I know of that is created to pair with champagne. What you're going to get from it is this effervescence, like champagne comes in. It's got this little bubbly feature to your palate. Extra, super clean, very smooth. The finish is is just non-existent.
Now, we talk a little bit about smelling the foot before you get started. But one of the ways that you can get the most, I'm telling you, the majority of the people that come in that fill out the questionnaire on newbies, to come into newbies, the question is tasting. How do I taste different notes? The greatest opportunity is before you actually light it and do what's called a cold draw, where you actually take deep pulls on the cigar and retrohale it and push it through your nose. And I think Rodney Smith from SSW could actually do that.
Yep.
But so many of the sweet notes, so many of the background notes you're going to get. And what's interesting is one of our members last night, Jay Scott, was telling me that he had, it was the new Plasencia Alma Forte with the natural wrapper and Dr. Pepper. Mm-hmm. And he did a pre-draw and he paired the pre-draw. So we'll take a pull on our cigar to get that smoke, and then we'll take a sip of a spirit or a sip of a drink and try to see how the two pair together. But he said when he did the pre-draw, he goes, I'm not kidding you, bubble gum.
What?
And I'm like, pink bubble gum? He goes, bubble gum.
Oh, I'm trying. What was it? It was
the green Alma Forte, the new Alma Forte Hex
and a
Press,
Dr. Pepper.
And a Dr. Pepper. And he did the pairing pre-smoke. So I'm going to try it. I've got a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yep.
This is to go with champagne, so who knows? This is the champagne of hop. So
there we go. Mark Meyer right now, he's got a goat and a triple X tonight. What's your poison? That sounds like a poison. And Frank is exactly right. Before the sun comes up, right before the world is waking up, having a nice little, for me, cease and desist, little coffee in the morning. Ooh, that's a perfect Sunday morning. To me, this
is standing in a barn full of hay. It's just hay. It's incredible.
So, to me, as we talk about your mood and the way that the world is really either kicking you in the nuts or pushing you forward, that I think dictates what you're going to do to create the best environment. Because I know Kevin Owens, well, he just hops in the hot tub and boom, the world melts away with him. But if I'm having a difficult time, the most important thing for me are the people I'm surrounded by.
Yep.
So most of the times, if I'm having a rough night, I'm not going to smoke a cigar unless Frank, my neighbor, can come next door and go, hey, you know, smoke a stick? Then he
Hang
can come
out with
over.
somebody normal.
But sometimes I just can't. I can't smoke a cigar alone. And I know Sean Ratz is watching. He hates people. He's great with people, but he hates them.
He's a people person.
He's a people person that hates them all. And he's great with people. Mm-hmm. But I would imagine, I'm curious to you, Sean Ratz, what is your perfect cigar environment? And what has been the thing that you've seen to increase your cigar atmosphere, allowing you to relax and get into that cigar better?
Man, I forgot how good this cigar is.
Is it?
Oh.
Straight away? Mm. And we'll just take a second here this is a little bit of Poor Man's Pappy here. This is OG. This is Rodney Smith. We're going to give you a figurative pouring out to the homies because you're not here with us tonight. Hopefully you're watching us. Everyone with SSW, you are godsend. You are awesome. And thank you for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. So we got Derek is in. I wonder if that's got to be our boy down in Derek Sinclair, president of Gold Leaf Cigar Club.
Oh, is that who that was?
He is in the house.
That is Sinclair.
He is a good man. He had fun on the show. They had a great weekend. We're so glad. A couple of the guys are coming in from the Gold Leaf Cigar Club in San Antonio. We thank those guys so much. They made a huge commitment. They got in their cars. 23 guys got in cars and drove 6 hours. Got here Friday afternoon. Left Sunday morning after my wife fed them. I'm sure they all fell asleep from food coma.
Derek
and Saturday or Sunday morning, they turned around about 10 o'clock in the morning and headed back to San Antonio and just smoked cigars and drank whiskey. I mean, what a cool group of guys.
And just talk about people. If you can get a group of your friends together and all you're doing is just sitting around smoking cigars in a place that cares about you being there, or even if it's at home, wherever that is, to me, here's a kicker that you guys might think about. And they're inexpensive, but here's something that you may think about. when it comes to your cigar experience. Lights.
Lights.
You can
Huge.
see this back here. We're running the blue lights tonight. We do this during our Wednesday wind down every Wednesday evening, 8 to 10 p.m., where we just come in. These blue lights are the only, and every week is a little
So
different.
but it's the only lights that are on in here.
And it's mood lighting. You don't have the cans coming over the top. You don't have this lighting. And what does that do to your experience when you don't have that normal light hitting you?
Well, and I think if you finish the rest of the process for the Wednesday wind down, it's something that we
Cheers,
now
guys.
have guys that are starting to plan their week around Wednesday wind down. We have guys that are waiting to flush out ideas that they've had until they get to wind down. But basically what wind down is we put about 7 guys in the room that we're in right now. We've got a really good sound system in here. We kill all the lights. We put on this amazing, just chill music. The last couple weeks we were using stuff that was just piano. We've done nights where we'll do an hour of piano and an hour of Miles Davis. And we just, no devices. That's right, folks. I said you can't touch your phone. And we literally don't talk for 2 hours. And in every scenario, every single week, I go, okay, guys, it's been 2 hours. And every one of them are like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yep.
Time
There you go.
absolutely flies.
Patrick, this is for you, bud. The red lights don't look as good, but we're gonna give it a
But
shot. This is
that's
for-
it.
this
And
is
an
for you.
interesting side note, if you ever do that, and I encourage it, if you're even just smoking in your garage, uplight some walls, just listen to music, set the stupid phone down. There is nothing that's on that phone that is more important than you enjoying a cigar. Documented fact, it's science. So to me, it's something I look forward to. It's something my wife looks forward to. And the craziest thing about it is you chill for 2 hours, you kind of go blank for an hour,
Yep.
and you'll have the best night's sleep. You'll wake up 2 hours early, and you're ready to go.
You're just lighter.
It's-
When you allow the cigar to do the work, and you just shut up for a little bit. It sounds like such a hard thing. 2 hours, no device, no talking. It sounds like a difficult thing it is for about the first 4 minutes. And the first time you feel that phone vibrate, you go, I'm not touching it. It unlocks everything. That's just a life thing.
I
That's not
can't.
even
For
a
those of
cigar
you
thing.
guys that are here, Sean, Pops, all you guys that are here, you guys are welcome to sign up for a Wednesday wind down and come in and try it. We have a guy that comes over, Rob, comes over from the west side of Fort Worth. So he's an hour plus each way, and he comes out now to do Wednesday wind down. Well, it doesn't get done till 10. Then we kind of do a wind down from the wind down, kind of talk about what we were thinking. That gets us to 10:30. And then he gets in his car completely chilled out, probably ready to doze off, and then has to drive over an hour back to the other side of Fort Worth. So
Yeah, exactly.
it is absolutely a blast.
You want to just do a rando, using some SS terms here, you want to just do a rando on the first person you see that hit done that's going to win that ashtray?
Yeah. Let's see.
All right, so this is for those who shared this. If you haven't already, maybe you should, because maybe we'll give another one away. This is going to be the only place you can get an Atabay Lounge white ashtray for you. We don't have them for sale. They're not in the lounge. Just for you, for your backyard, for your patio. Share it. Comment done.
I just stopped and I touched right on Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank.
Which I know how much he likes being touched.
Yes. Frank the Tank. Well, that's great. That saves us on shipping.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
Boom,
great. So
right
just
there.
do that. Share it again.
So
hit it done.
What are you smoking?
Okay, so I'm smoking the one shot, one kill.
I am so glad that cigar is back in stock.
Yep. Los Tejanos. Now for me, why I like this and what I like out of cigars is I like a cigar that lets me smoke it, lets me focus on it, or gets out of the way. And to me, that's where my cigar selection and everything in the atmosphere that I create allows for me to have control in who I want to talk to, who I want to be with. That cigar does that. It's tasty, it's full-bodied, but not full strength. It has a ton of flavor, but it doesn't kick my ass. So I can smoke it with no lunch in my stomach, but it still has so much going on. And thankfully, it's all coming back. So
it just has just a smidgen more pepper. It's the same strength. You know, we're talking about the environment. You want to talk about something fun to do while you're doing this, while you're creating your environment. Take 2 cigars out of your humidor, 1 Dominican, 1 Nicaraguan, 1 Honduran, whatever the case may be, and just sit down and smoke them both at the same time. And taste the differences immediately versus trying to remember what one cigar tasted like when you get to the next one. And also, don't forget, you'll notice right here isn't that just like, that is like champagne. It's like the flavor just goes away.
It has this tingle to it. It's so nice. Almost like when your feet are just first starting to fall asleep and you kind of get that little tingle. That's on your palate, and then it dissipates. It's so clean.
That's the thing. Super clean. These are dark chocolate sea salt caramels. Fantastic. They sell them at Costco by the bushel. But this type of stuff is perfect for cleansing your palate. So remember, if you're going from one cigar to another, if you're going from dinner to your cigars, pop something like that, chocolate covered cashew, something that's gonna cleanse your palate, and then jump into your cigar. Don't let we nerded out about the palate and pH levels and all that stuff. Just wipe the slate clean so that if you're gonna sit down and take this cigar serious, think about it. Think about the artistry that went into that cigar, the assembly, the construction. Then make sure your palate's clean. Start with a clean window.
Now, I do want to take a pivot here because we're talking about day-to-day atmospheres. Mm-hmm. We're talking about what can you facilitate and control every bit of the environment, be it the lounge, be it the patio, be it wherever it is. I'm curious about, what's up, Tony Gallant?
Hey, Tony.
And Megan Byers. Oh, yeah, we got a good crew in here. Good evening. What we're talking about is atmosphere.
Good evening, mates. See how we're just chill tonight.
Yeah.
We're not coming in hard like on Saturday at the shop. We're not coming in with the foreign languages. Plethora of foreign languages, as we like to call it.
Yes, you are fluent in all of them.
Yep.
Now, I do want to pivot because there are extenuating circumstances where you may have an atmosphere maybe you don't control. Maybe it's on vacation. Maybe it's something. And I'm curious to hear from others, as well as you, what has been your favorite or most memorable cigar atmosphere, cigar area? What has been a point that's changed the way you are? Well,
I think that, obviously I started smoking cigars on the golf course, so that's just, to me, having cigars on the golf course is as important as having golf clubs on the golf course.
Agreed.
And we're blessed that we have an ICC Sunday golf group that this last weekend was 3 foursomes, and we just get out and cigars lit at 7:30, and we're swinging away and hitting houses by 7:45.
Yep.
So for me, that's important, but I really we enjoy cruising, and to just listen to the waves and that fresh, that sea salt air, and sitting out on the deck, and particularly when everybody's already left and gone to bed, and then you sneak back up there, pull one of the chairs off the rack and sit down there by yourself, and you're just watching the wake. There's nothing more calming than listening to that ocean. That's why we always sleep with the doors open on the cruise ships, because you just want to hear the waves.
Yep.
And there's something about that to me just creates this perfect setting.
Yep. Mark Meyer, my patio lights, bourbon, and visiting with my wife. That's cool as hell.
That is very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, to be able to sit there and smoke a cigar with your wife, that is what it opens up is so much different than spending time watching Netflix, just sitting side by side, but being able to sit there and maybe sit in silence, maybe visit. What that does to a relationship is just so cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my wife up to do wind down and see if she can actually wind down for 2 hours.
That would probably, that would be a really interesting deal there. Yeah, I think, for me, one of the most memorable atmospheres would have to be with Pablo and Patrick
Oh yeah,
in Olten, Switzerland.
sure.
To be in an environment where I'm in a building that is 100 years older than our country. Mm-hmm. To be in a place where he goes, yeah, that beam was in place in 1548. And to be in a foreign environment next to welcoming people.
Yeah.
That mix of the right people, right place, the time, smoking Patoros in their natural habitat. There's something when you pair your environment, your people, your cigar, your drink, your everything, and it all just works well together. I'm curious what you guys have to say.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming in. Jake looks like his parole officer let him use his electronics again. So JP is in the house, and he hasn't said his normal thing.
Which is good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
which, and it's we're kind of chill tonight.
Yeah, this is it. I feel like the environment is right in here. I feel like it's mellow. People are watching a movie. We're just kind of sitting and hanging. I think it.
Do you think that their mind is ready to just talk for a second about a really unique cigar?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do that.
The cigar is important to the cigar atmosphere.
It's one of the factors that seems to make cigar enjoyment more enjoyable.
Cigars.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
The guys at CAO, they're always bringing out some interesting tobaccos. They're doing some unique things. They had a series of product over the last 3 years called the Amazon Basin. For those of you that like full-bodied cigars, Amazon Basin was a full-bodied cigar. It had some unique tobacco in it that was kind of from this Amazon Basin, and it was aggressive to say the least. It had its own flavor profile, which was very unique. And the cigars, you either really liked it or you really didn't like it. They've discontinued that line, and they have created a new line called Arcana. And this particular cigar just came in this last week. It's called Mortal Coil. And what's interesting about this is it uses what's called an Andullo.
Andullo.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's the whole Mexican thing that you understand. I don't. I guess.
You know what else an Andullo is in?
What?
Patoro Red Label. Granina Reserva.
Is that right?
The binder is Andullo.
Interesting. So, Andullo is a very old fermentation process. So we've talked about how the tobacco is dried in the barns, then it's brought out, it's put together in little bundles, and then they create what's called a pilon, where they stack the tobacco and let the fermentation process start. The chemical reaction starts, the ammonias come out, the temperature goes way up, and they do that 2 times. Sometimes they'll do it a little bit more than that. But what's interesting about this is they actually this is an real old school Dominican method. The Andullo, they take a palm pod from a palm tree. They take this pod, and then they take the tobacco and they create a rope. And they take the rope and they wrap it around this pod very, very tight, extremely tight, and then they hang it. And that tobacco ferments for a minimum of 2 years. And it's not rotated. There's nothing. It just naturally does its thing.
Okay.
Needless to say, fermentation is going to get hot, and that leaf is going to be very dark. And you can see the leaf in the foot of that cigar, in the center of that cigar.
Black.
It's black. But
Good
the
construction.
smell of that cigar is so unique. It's almost, now I know how you described it. I described it as a unique scent that you would get from, like, if you smell pipe tobacco. But it's very dense, very leathery, very heavy tobacco. And it comes in strong. There's one point in the cigar, about the second, third.
Did you pull this? Did you pull this? Can we smoke it?
Yeah, if you want to smoke it. But there's kind of a dip in the center, but the first third, it is wake up and pay attention.
Really?
Yeah. Jake loved it. He tried it last night and loved it. The guys, JV smoked it, loved it. So the guys that are traditionally like a heavier cigar have been thoroughly impressed with that cigar. It is, it's too full for me. I would smoke one, but it would be one every once in a while.
Okay.
So, but what's interesting is it's using a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. So the wrapper itself is going to be a little bit heavier, a little bit more oil. It is using a Llama strain from Honduras for the binder. So that's going to be a real slow combustion rate, not add a ton of flavor. But then they used Esteli Ligero and Dominican Piloto. So when you talk about an Esteli Ligero leaf, which is like that.
Yeah, this is.
You got a Connecticut broadleaf, which is full, and then you have this Andullo tobacco inside of it. But the thing that is intriguing about it and what kept me in the cigar was this really unique flavor. And there are few cigars in here that kind of stand by themselves with a certain flavor profile. And to me, this isn't just strong. It has flavor. So what are your polls?
Let's be clear. This motherfucker is strong.
Yeah. So you're not relaxing anymore.
It's not just strong, but look how white the ash is.
Jake says it tastes like Raisin Bran cereal. Raisin Bran, and instead of milk, you use Jack Daniels, I think is the very white ash. So we've talked about, when you notice that the ash is extremely white, that means the ash, the tobacco itself has tremendous age. If it's gray or black, then obviously at that point, it's not reached its full maturity from an aging perspective. So I've been smoking this lightweight because this is a 4 strength-wise.
If you accept that that's strong, it has this spice. But if you guys have had a cigar that is aggressive and peppery and not, like, you get this kick that you feel like it's not supposed to be there, that gives me a spice like I'm eating good salsa. You know, where the spice hangs with you, but it's just right at the right point where you go, yeah, that's the amount of spice. And it just slowly dissipates. It sits on your palate. It doesn't get in the way. For a strong cigar,
Now, when we talked about the flavor zones on your palate last week, we talked about the front being sweet. The next phase on the side is salt. The next phase is what's going to really pick up pepper or sour. And the very back is going to pick up bitter, which is going to pick up if the tobacco's under fermented. I'm not getting that at all.
No.
With this,
all up on top.
But I'm not getting any of the saltiness that, like the new Plasencia that I was telling you about, the Alma Forte, very salty. It reminds me of like the Aladino Corojo that had that real salty finish to it. This is, maybe my mindset's right, but this is good.
I think this is, let's circle all the way back to creating an atmosphere. And to me, it's very important to try new things, to do something different. And hopefully it's going out for those who are watching. Hopefully you guys are trying something new. I know Mark Meyer is drinking the goat, and maybe that's new. But to me, just trying something that I wouldn't do it. I would never pick that thing up off the shelf and go, yeah, let's take this for a run. But just sitting here and experimenting a little bit, seeing what it's you know what
it's a good tasting cigar. And I would recommend that over somebody punishing themselves with a real heavy, under-fermented cigar that's just presenting strength in the form of bitterness.
Yeah.
This is a perfect example of bitter it's not strong because it's got bitter flavor. Bitter is bitter. This has flavor and strength. It's just that what we call the umami part of your palate, the center of your palate, gets a lot of activity. There's a lot going on in the center of your palate.
It dances.
And it sits there for a bit.
Where this blankets, this dances.
And this just leaves.
Yeah.
This Illusione, as I'm smoking this, it's a scale of 1 to 10 is a 4. That's a 5. I'm going 7 or 8 on that. I don't know that I've ever had a 9 or a 10.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want one, but
We had the Jacob's Ladder Brimstone, and we started sweating.
that's true.
But yeah, for
Jake
those who
Powell.
are watching,
Jake Powell says it smokes like an anime.
this guy knows cigars.
This dude was dropped on his head so many times.
So those of you who are joining us, this is our Tuesday get together, Cigars 101. Thank you for taking your time on a Tuesday to join us. Well, everyone who's over on Cigars 101 on Newbies, and those who are on our channels of Industrial Cigars, feel free to ask any questions.
Yeah.
Talking about
And
creating
what are you guys going to do tonight to create an environment now that we've set the stage?
I would be buying LEDs. That's what I'd be doing.
We bought 4 LED lights that work fantastic. They're $30. They're indoor and outdoor, so they can get wet. And set them outside and create a little uplighting.
Yeah, it's sweet. This is actually, I would have walked past this 100 times, and I probably have, but oh, you see how they did that? That's clever. Because of their Andullo style, they
coiled the wrapper.
They actually wrapped it like that. The actual label itself is how they did the fermentation process. That's clever. I'll give it to them there. That's smart.
Yeah. So very interesting.
That's a cool story behind
And
it too.
JV just told me that the master blender for CAO is going to be in Dallas soon, so he's going to have him come over here and hang out.
Right on.
Yeah.
What do you got, Pops?
This cigar, I'm glad this is a cigar that I picked. I didn't want anything that was going to be real heavy. Again, I'm smoking the Illusione Epernay Le Monde, which is about I would say it's kind of a Robusto Plus. You know, it's a little bit longer than a Toro, but about a 50 ring gauge. Let's talk about ring gauge for a second. It's not really an environmental question, but what is, I guess from a relaxation standpoint, I noticed that I kind of have a tendency to go smaller ring gauge. And I don't know if it's just because I don't want to try to open my mouth to smoke some of these larger ring gauge cigars, but I've noticed over time, and I don't know where you guys are at in your cigar journey, but if you're looking at a 6x60 or a 7x70 for $8.98, and you're thinking this is a great deal because I'm getting so much cigar for not a lot of money. I was there, and for the longest time I would smoke 6x60s, and now I smoke Lanceros, Lonsdales, Corona Gordo, Moreva, which are all smaller size, smaller ring gauge cigars. This is about as big of a ring gauge, 50, 52, I want to go. Where are you at?
I'm sitting with you. I've been on the cease and desist. I've been on the house, and I've been on the rebar or the house Maduro. Those are all smaller ring gauges, not necessarily by design. I don't go, hey, I want a smaller ring gauge other than the cease and desist. It's just, I know I've got a couple kids inside. I have a different world that I live in. So I'm not going to give, I don't have 2 hours to spend on a cigar. So I usually go a little bit quicker unless I have 2 hours.
Yeah.
But then we're just grabbing cigars like crazy.
Right.
But yeah, I think you're exactly right. Just what I see with this is the same way as you look at a natural path of a cigar smoker. You start mild, you work your way up until you get to the most amount of flavor and aggression for the money, and then you hop down and try something new, and then you start working your way down.
Yeah.
I think we can see something similar with someone where they may work their way up in ring gauge, and then they'll end up finding where they're comfortable.
Yeah, and I think the same thing happens with strength. I think a lot of guys, once they realize they're smoking some big boy cigars, they'll chase it up to strength, but over time, just the fatigue to your palate will actually kind of bring you back down. Sometimes I'm catching myself going in and grabbing a Connecticut, and I grabbed yesterday an Angelique.
I'll tell you what.
Connecticut cigar that's dipped in a sweet fluid. It was a sweet cigar, but I just didn't feel like, I just felt like it was time just to take a break.
Yep.
So
I love that cigar.
Mark is doing Pants Off Tuesday, and that's good. And he's finding Lanceros seem to have much more flavor. So we can talk a little bit about that. The Lancero is a smaller ring gauge, but as we've talked many times, the wrapper itself, this single leaf that's wrapped around here, is where 40 to 50% of your flavor is going to come from. So naturally, the larger the ring gauge, the more filler you have, the more filler to wrapper ratio you have, and you're going to get less wrapper. So as you make that smaller, you're going to expose the wrapper. Now, there is a difference in cost in wrapper from grade 1 to grade 14 that's very significant. So typically guys that are going to do a Lancero, that are going to really try to deliver a quality Lancero, are going to use the highest quality tobacco on that wrapper. The binder that's underneath it typically controls combustion rate. You have to be careful with that on a Lancero because it can't be too thick, because that will then minimize the amount of filler that you can have. So the Lancero is very difficult to roll, so a lot of times they will charcoal up, or they won't perform that well. But when you find a company that has good Lancero rollers, man, those are a real treat.
Yep. Juan Mendoza coming in. Good evening, everyone. This is Tuesday, Cigar Newbies. We're over on Industrial Facebook. We're in Cigar Newbies as well.
And let me say this, because I see Patrick is in and Derek was in from Gold Leaf Cigar Club. It's interesting when you see guys that are coming from a different market, how market to market cigar smokers have like a kind of a similar flavor profile from one area. They go to another and it's like, these are all new cigars. I've never seen these before. I've never smoked them. This is what I smoke. And they all gather in the same kind of brand range, but they really gather in the same strength.
Yep.
So a lot of guys that came up for Gold Leaf were struggling because they wanted us to give them a bunch of cigars that would just bash their heads in. Mm-hmm. So they smoke enough that they wanted that strength. And it's amazing how many boxes of Principal Aviators and Crux Epicures and cigars that we saw, Atabes, that are more on the mild side. So it kind of exposed that you can expose them to the fact you get great flavor and that intensity gets out of the way, so the cigar gets to stand on its own. So, but there were guys that were, oh yeah, Jacob's Ladder, yeah, I smoke these all the time. I smoke these all day long. But when they try a Bull and Bear from Crux, all of a sudden they get strength, but it's not hammering them.
Yeah.
You know, it was fun to see.
That is, and I don't know if Tony Galan is still tuning in, but he's up in Canada. I'm curious, what is your, let's just call it home base. And that's actually one thing that I want to know from everyone watching is, what is your home base cigar? Would you say is the median cigar for you? Sometimes you go stronger, sometimes you go a little bit milder, but what is your I could smoke it anytime?
And I'd like to pose the question this way. Oh, here's a shocker. Kathleen likes tequila.
Well, she put more in there. I mean, granted.
But yeah, I mean, the cigar is just something to do while she's drinking tequila.
I'm with it.
God bless her.
I'm with it.
But so here, you guys get your keyboards ready. Let's see.
Home base.
What is your desert island cigar? You got one cigar
forever
on a desert island to smoke forever. What is it? Because I got two, and it's tough.
What are yours?
Mine is any Atabey.
Okay.
Or the Cochin Volant.
That's tough to argue. That's tough to argue.
Tough. I mean, I would love. Okay, so let's say it's our three, because I got to have the house in there, because I could smoke our ICC house all day long.
Patrick, Southern Draw Line, Black and Gold, Don Carlos.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I'm curious where we're going to start coming in.
I got a whole bunch of Don Carlos's in the vault, but JP hadn't bought them yet, so I don't know what his problem is.
So yours are Atabey, Cochin Volant in the house,
which all just sits scale of 1 to 10, just kind of straddles the 4 or 5 range.
Yep.
Not a lot of pepper.
I'm going
creamy, elegant, beautiful.
I'm going Chasero.
Okay.
Habano. That's a Mexican line. Very small, very low distribution if you're watching nationally. I cannot get sick of that.
No. Blueberry.
I could go Cochin, and I could go Joya de Nicaragua Celebración. Old school.
Yeah.
I'm going that. Age.
What was your second one?
The Cochambellan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Lost City, Don Carlos. Yeah,
Okay. Whatever.
I like that.
So what are some of your guys's really liking the new DC teal band? Is that your?
That's the 919.
So Chris, that's the 919.
Yep.
That's. I'll tell you what, guys. Definition Cigars is doing some really good stuff, and they just sent us a cigar called the 919, which is Jay Jamon, who's been here for Cigar 101 before. This 919, I thought the line was really good, but 919 is just
It outpaces the rest.
It's just outpacing everybody.
Yeah.
Now, Mark Rogers just walked by, and I know Mark Rogers' favorite.
Yeah.
KBF Gold.
KBF Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he has more night flights in his locker, which is a very sought after principal cigar. Maduro wrapper,
It is.
low
It's
yield.
it's very highly sought after.
He has more than Darren has.
He does have more than Darren does, and I will remind you as an owner, we have the master key to his locker, in case we ever decide to start thieving.
Yahtzee. I hope he's not watching.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So Patrick, some of you guys with down south, what is your guys' go-to? Hey, your man Jordan is in. Jordan Bicknell.
Jordan Bicknell?
Uh-huh.
What's up, Jordan? Miss you, buddy. I miss you. Yeah, that's Jordan Bicknell, baby.
Would like to
Best man at my wedding.
Can we just take a real quick pause? A really good friend of our shop, a really good friend that we've had for several years, had a stroke yesterday. Dirk Washington had surgery and everything yesterday. We hope and pray that he's doing better.
Yep.
Everybody put your hands together for our friend Dirk, and let's just hope that he's back in here smoking cigars as soon as possible.
Yep. Dirk.
Yep, Dirk. Still have two Cochambellan black and gold. So you guys had an experience with the black and golds on a pairing that was very unique.
Socorro, because of Chris Pennington, Socorro tequila, black and gold by principle, Reese's peanut butter cups at the end. Simple mathematics.
It's just, and how evident was it?
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is making shit up because I'm a blog writer. 10 is getting punched in the face with it.
Yeah.
About a 7 or 8.
Wow.
I mean, there was no guessing to anyone. There was no guessing.
That's just crazy. I mean, the look on Jay Scott's face when he told me that cold drawing that Plasencia with Dr. Pepper created bubble gum. It was like the same thing. He was like 7 or 8. And the one that blew me away was the day that we smoked that damn Chassereau Petite Corona. And for you to take a puff on it and give it to me, and then we both say blueberry at the same time, was crazy. Crazy.
Yep, Derek down there, Southern Draw, Jacob's
Ladder. These guys need to get converted to the Crux Bull and Bear.
Yeah, that'll ruin you. There was a guy who just walked in today, had his first Bull and Bear, first time in the shop. That will take a guy who's used to smoking a medium and thinking, medium run-of-the-mill cigar, and then put him on a Crux Bull and Bear. Boy, the way he lit up was pretty substantial. It was really cool to watch.
Yeah, Patrick said, wish you would have picked up a couple more extra boxes. Did you set up a discount code for GLCC?
Yep, GLCC10.
GLCC10.
Do it.
Go on to our
checkout.
ecom. Do a coupon code GLCC10 on the ecom, and you get 10% off your orders. And let everybody at GLCC know that deal is set up in the system. Use it as a coupon code, and we'll ship the stuff to you. We ship stuff every day.
Yep.
This is good. Let's see how it pairs.
See how it pairs. Cheers, newbies.
Cheers. One of the things that I've been doing because we have the lights and everything set up, the things that I've been doing after Cigar 101 on newbies is I do a wind down.
Yep. If you want to do this, if you want to come and actually sit in here and do this and be in on this, and you want to join us for a special Tuesday wind down, just let us know. Let us know. You're welcome to come in. We can fit a few others in here.
Yeah.
We just sit in afterwards. If Wednesdays don't work and you want to do a Tuesday mini wind down, do it, because we would love to have you join us. It is a sensational, very memorable experience.
Excellent. So Derek's going to pick up some Bull and Bears at the end of the month. There's another cigar that's in that line that's called the PB5, the Limitada, 15 or 16-year-old wrapper now.
Yep.
Really, really good. But yeah, come in and join us. I know Mark and Gary Morris and a bunch of guys are here in town. Come on in and join us for Cigar Newbies and sit in the audience out here.
Well, and we'd love to have you, because the one thing that I want to hear is...
Yeah, we want to drop you in the center seat.
Yeah, and just hear about your cigar experience. I know a lot of these guys who go from the whiskey world have now very comfortably converted into the cigar world. I want to see what that experience is like. It's different than how we got into it.
And I'm curious, for those that were chasing and drinking and becoming whiskey aficionados, has smoking cigars changed the go-to whiskeys and bourbons that you drink, or scotches? I'm curious if now all of a sudden you add cigars to the mix, if all of a sudden other stuff started tasting a little bit better, or started tasting different.
Yeah, I know it changed the way I eat food. Getting deeper into cigars, it changed the way.
What's interesting is my wife started reading the Tobacconist Handbook, and then we're at dinner, and she's talking about notes she was picking up from food. So it's interesting how you start challenging your palate when you're doing other things.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Travis, you need to come in and hang out with us here at Newbies, doing your thing.
Well, I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's we're just kind of chilling. We got JL is in, obviously Travis is in now, of course JP. So we're having a good time, and my wallet has been getting lighter, Marty Upton. So the secret is hide it from your wife, and then you'll still have plenty of it when you can come in here and buy cigars. But the nice thing about Marty is he doesn't buy one cigar; he buys
these cigars.
He wishes he had a shopping cart, because it would just be,
without a doubt.
It would look
By the way, you left your Crown Royal little gay drink at my house. You still have that there. So
is it like Crown Royal apple?
It's
or something?
Crown. I think it's Crown and Coke in a can. It's purple. Yeah.
I noticed a lot of beer companies are coming out with like clear seltzer. What's that about?
I don't know. They're trying to be white and basic. But with that, this week we've got some cool stuff. Come into Saturday at the shop, because if you come into Saturday at the shop, we have a Plasencia cigar waiting for you. Tell your friends and bring your friends, because everyone that walks into the shop as a part of Saturday at the shop, before it starts at 10:10 in the morning, if you can get in here before 10 o'clock, we have one of two cigars. And let's be honest, one of these cigars retails for $22. This is big dog stuff. We're going to start integrating. We want more and more people as a part of that.
So basically we're saying we're going to bribe you.
Yeah. But it's a blast.
We got Distretto coffee, but it was really the Gold Leaf Cigar Club that showed us the power of an audience. When it sounds like a AAA baseball stadium has just lit up on a home run, it just makes the show better.
It changes everything.
It does. It almost makes what we sound, or what we said, sound like we said something interesting.
Yeah.
Because of either the laughter or the clapping.
Yeah.
So we noticed, I did not open it. Oh, he's going through the whole explaining how he didn't open it. I'm not completely gay and stuff like that. That's really what he's saying.
Okay, so we're getting off of here, but come in for Saturday at the shop this Saturday before 10 a.m. We've got donuts, we've got breakfast burritos, we got coffee, and you'll have a free stick.
Travis wants to know if he counts.
Yeah, you
if
count.
He gets the dude's here at 8:30. We open it when we get
Rats, what time are you here? Because I am the professional technical difficulty maker.
Yeah.
So we could go off whatever time. So let us know.
We have been waiting for it to blow up tonight, and it just didn't.
I don't know.
It's pretty
cool. We had a good atmosphere, and hopefully you guys had a good atmosphere and enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a little bit more laid back, and wasn't as much of the nerdy stuff that we've been getting into, but the nerdy stuff is fun too. But what I'm really, really geeked for, and maybe there are some people on here that were not on here before, is maybe talk a little bit about, as we sign off, what you're planning with Edgar Hoyle for the ultimate
Okay.
Cigar 101.
This is okay. So this is a different experience altogether. Some shops have rollers. We thought about let's do a roller. Here's what's going to happen. We haven't really announced it yet, but those who are watching, kudos to you. Here's what's going to happen. It's going to be a night at the factory, because the experience at a factory is completely different than a lounge. It's a different world.
Yep.
But come June 11th, that's a Friday. What we're going to do is a night at the factory. What I mean by that is we're going to utilize tobacco in its raw form. And there are only going to be 15 premium tickets. There'll be $100 a piece. Now, what the lounge layout is going to be is we're going to have chocolate from Mexico. We're going to have coffee from Mexico, maybe some Carajillos up front.
Carajillos, there you go.
We'll put in a little mariachi trio. No horns so your face doesn't melt off, but just a nice little trio that'll be here. We can have tickets up front. We're also going to have a live roller in the front lounge. She's going to be rolling cigars. She's going to be putting it together. So you can smoke them straight off the table if you'd like, or let them age. What those premium tickets are going to be is it's going to be a table, buffet style of different tobaccos. 2 wrappers, 3 binders, 2 fillers, that sort of deal. And you're going to be able to grab holochos, small little cigars of each
leaf.
And you're going to be able to grab it, smoke them together, see if you like the blend. You're going to find that blend and then take a sushi menu style where you'll give the blend to the roller. She's going to roll that cigar for you on the spot. At that point, you can take it, smoke it. If you like it, you'll be able to buy couple boxes, whatever you want of your cigar and your blend. Not only that, if people like the blend that you've rocked through, you're going to have 3 attempts to do this. People like the cigar that you've blended, they can buy your cigar. And in that evening, Edgar will be here as a master blender, helping you how to blend them, how to make the best, and how to tune it up, so you're not just shooting in the dark. And he's going to blend based on that tobacco. So you can buy a box of his, a box of yours, and compare the way yours goes together. But you will be able to blend your own cigar. Once you leave, it'll take some time to roll them and age them, but then it's going to come back.
It's yours.
That's it. And then here's what I thought. Once we do get those back, I'd love to just do an extra bundle of each and then do a tasting, maybe just for the newbies, where we can come back here and smoke them and see which one wins. And then we could just do 250 or whatever of that cigar, and then we have it for sale in our humidor. We can do custom packaging around it, just like a custom box, and then you could actually get it here.
That's a really cool experience. I can't wait for it. I've sat with Edgar on several occasions, and we've done this blending session. To be able to, in a sense, be it's almost like a cooking class, and you got a gourmet chef that's sitting there helping you. I mean, this is an amazing concept. I guarantee you nobody has ever done this before.
Yep.
And it is just, that is so cool. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think somebody is going to stumble into a really good blend, and Edgar's going to go, holy shit.
He's going to buy that blend from you.
I need this.
I think
I need it in my line.
And the cigars are not going to be, they're not going to be inexpensive cigars, because we're using grade A tobacco and everything. So they'll sit in that $15, $16 cigar range. But show me anywhere that you can blend your own cigar and have, whether it's 20 or 30 or 40 or whatever you want of your blend that you do.
And how cool is that if you have people over for the holidays, and to be able to tell the story about that cigar, and have maybe your little sushi menu is sitting inside your box lid that shows, I picked all of this stuff, gave it to the blenders, and they blended it. I imagine they're probably going to use like Rojas blenders or somebody like that.
It is. No, we're going to use, and we're using top grade.
So you're smoking Noel Rojas cigar right now.
Exactly.
So when you have that is just going to be so cool.
So what we'll do is, just because of you guys as the newbies, we appreciate your weekly and daily and monthly and everything support. What we're going to do is we're going to release all of those premium tickets to you first, and we're going to do it here within probably the next few weeks. We still have some details, but once we get to those details, we're going to drop it on Cigars 101, so you get the first chance to get those VIP tickets.
Love it.
Don't miss out on this.
Love it.
So with that,
We got to end it on that note because everybody's looking for their $100 bills they got. Right
Exactly. Put your $100 aside and start saving up because you're going to need to buy. This is one-time run too. Once you make your blend, this is your time to get
Yep.
it. So
Marty, just start stashing money in your glove box.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So thank you.